Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world. Coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. What if I told you that the penny sitting at the bottom of your drawer, the one you've probably ignored for years, could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 2009 Lincoln penny that's shocking collectors across America with its unbelievable value of $999,000. Imagine that, the smallest coin in your pocket turning into a life-changing fortune. Sounds impossible? Well, stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so extraordinary and how you might have one just like it. Now, before we dive deep, take a quick look at your pennies because if you see a 2009 Denver Mint mark, this might just be your lucky day. But don't rush to the pawn shop yet, because the true secret behind this coin's astronomical value lies in a hidden error that most people never notice. And trust me, once you know what to look for, you'll never look at your change the same way again. In 2009, the U.S. Mint celebrated the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth with a special set of 1-cent coins. Each design told a part of Lincoln's story, from his humble log cabin beginnings to his presidency. Millions were produced. But here's where it gets fascinating. Among those shiny new pennies, a few rare errors slipped through the Mint's tight quality control. And those few are now worth a fortune. Think about it. A coin made to honor one of America's greatest presidents, accidentally struck with a flaw so rare, it transformed from pocket change to pure treasure. Talk about history meeting destiny. Now, let's peel back the layers of mystery. The 2009 Lincoln penny that collectors are going crazy for is no ordinary coin. It's from the Denver Mint, and it bears a rare striking error, a double die, a misaligned strike, or in some cases, an extraordinary finish anomaly that gives it a completely unique look under magnification. Imagine this: two identical coins, minted the same year, same design, same material, but one tiny minting mistake transforms one into a collector's holy grail. That's the thrilling magic of numismatics, where rarity meets demand and history meets fortune. And here's the twist. Most of these error coins went into regular circulation. That means your penny jar, your old wallet, or even your kid's piggy bank could be holding a piece of treasure worth nearly $1 million. Crazy, right? I mean, people search for gold all their lives, and sometimes the real treasure is hiding in plain sight. By the way, if you're tempted to start digging through your coin jar right now, I get it, but hang tight. Finish this video first, because if you don't know what to look for, you might end up giving away a $999,000 coin for a cup of coffee. And that would be the most expensive latte in history. So here's where things get intense. The numismatic market, that's the world of rare coins, is booming. Demand for error coins has skyrocketed. Collectors and investors are paying record-breaking prices for coins that tell a story, and the 2009 Lincoln error penny sits right at the top of that list. Experts say the window of opportunity is closing fast. As more collectors lock these rare pieces into private collections, fewer remain in circulation. Meaning if you don't act now, you might miss the chance of a lifetime. And let's be honest, wouldn't it feel incredible to turn a single penny into $999,000? To know that something you overlooked for years could now buy you a dream home, pay off your debts, or fund your retirement. That's not just luck. That's financial destiny waiting to be discovered. Now here's the big reveal. One verified 2009 Lincoln penny with a minting error recently stunned experts with a market value soaring close to $1 million. The combination of its rarity, pristine condition, and error type makes it one of the most sought-after modern pennies. In U.S. history, collectors describe it as the modern-day treasure of the century. And the truth is, anyone could have one. That's what makes this story so powerful. It's not just about money. It's about opportunity, awareness, and being part of history. Because behind every rare coin is a story of mistakes turned into miracles, of the ordinary becoming extraordinary. It's proof that wealth can hide in the simplest corners of our lives, waiting for someone with the right knowledge to uncover it. And let's be honest, who needs another get-rich-quick scheme when you can literally find wealth in your pocket? It's like the universe saying, "Here, you've earned this. Just pay attention this time." So tonight, when you empty your pockets or open that old coin jar, take a closer look at your pennies. Check for that 2009 Mint mark, Inspect for any unusual texture, doubling, or strike errors, because the next life-changing discovery might be right there, shining back at you. And if you find one, don't rush to sell it cheap. Do your research, contact a professional coin grader, and make sure you know its worth. Remember, true wealth doesn't just come from what you earn. It comes from what you recognize. The 2009 Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol, a reminder that value hides in unexpected places, and that sometimes the smallest things in life hold the biggest rewards. So keep searching, keep believing, and maybe, just maybe, your next penny could be the one that changes everything. Imagine holding in your hand a simple, copper penny from 1941, a coin that's been in countless pockets, passed through generations, maybe even forgotten in a dusty jar. Now imagine discovering that this very same coin, a 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny, could be worth as much as $654,000. Yes, you heard that right, over $500,000 for a single penny that might be sitting in your home right now. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll understand exactly why this penny is so valuable, and how you could be the next person to strike gold with a coin most people overlook every single day. Now, before we dive deep, let me ask, when was the last time you checked your old change? Or that coin jar sitting in your closet? Because after this, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. The story begins in 1941, a time when America was still recovering from the Great Depression and preparing for a world at war. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln wheat pennies that year. But here's where it gets interesting. The Philadelphia Mint coins were made without a mint mark. These are the ones we're focusing on. Now, most 1941 pennies are worth just a few cents, but occasionally one emerges that changes everything. Some of these coins were struck using defective dies, misaligned during minting, or produced on experimental planchets. Tiny errors that turn ordinary coins into priceless treasures. Collectors crave these anomalies because they represent history, rarity, and perfection, all rolled into one. And when a high-grade 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny, preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, appears at auction, the competition is fierce. Bidders from across the country battle for ownership. And in one recent sale, a flawless specimen fetched a staggering $654,000. Can you imagine? One small penny, not even worth a single cent in 1941, now worth more than most people's homes. It's a reminder that wealth doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket, and here's the kicker. There's no way to tell how many more of these high-value error pennies are still out there. Maybe one's hiding in your attic, tucked inside an old coin album, or even sitting in a drawer right now. The possibility is thrilling, and it's real. But what exactly makes these coins so desirable? Let's connect the dots. The answer lies in grade, rarity, and story. Each error penny tells a story of a moment the mint didn't mean to make. A one-in-a-million twist of metal and timing. And collectors pay a premium for that story. Now, here's a question to reset your attention. If someone offered you $654,000 for a penny, would you hesitate to sell it? Or would you frame it? I'd probably do both. So what does this mean for you? It means opportunity, the kind that can change your financial story overnight. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a collector's item. It's a hidden gateway to wealth. With demand for rare U.S. coins surging and collectors willing to pay record-breaking prices, there's never been a better time to check your change and explore your coin collections. If you find a 1941 penny, look closely. Examine its color, its strike, and its condition. Look for doubled features, die cracks, or unusually sharp details. Even a small variation can mean a huge difference in value. And if you think you've found something special, get it graded by a professional. That's where the magic happens, and where fortunes are made. Here's the truth. While most people chase fleeting trends and temporary wealth, the smart few invest in history. Old coins like the 1941 wheat penny carry not only monetary value, but also legacy, craftsmanship, and the enduring spirit of America. And here's your cliffhanger. There's another penny, even rarer than the 1941, that's been quietly shocking the collector world with million-dollar sales. We'll uncover that one next, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. because the next coin could be the key to your own hidden fortune. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of coins tucked away in your drawer, and realizing that one small copper penny, the same kind you've probably overlooked 1,000 times, could make you nearly $1 million richer. Sounds impossible, right? But here's the truth. A 1940 mint Mark wheat penny has recently made headlines, fetching a jaw-dropping $888,000 at auction. And yes, it could be sitting unnoticed in your home right now. Before you dismiss that as a wild dream, remember this. Every great story of sudden wealth begins with something ordinary. A forgotten coin, a dusty collection, or a family heirloom passed down without thought. But this is where ordinary transforms into extraordinary. Now, you might be thinking, what makes this penny so special? It's just a 1940 Lincoln cent, right? Well, that's exactly where the magic and the money begins. The 1940 mint Mark wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, the heart of America's coin production. Millions rolled off the presses. But among them, a handful were struck with rare minting errors so subtle that even experienced collectors missed them for decades. Some have double dies that create a faint shadow on Lincoln's features or lettering, while others have off-center strikes or die cracks that give them a unique, one-of-a-kind character. Collectors aren't just buying these coins. They're competing for them fiercely. Why? Because rarity isn't just about metal and mint marks. It's about the story. Each error tells a tale of imperfection turned to perfection, a symbol of how something flawed became worth nearly $1 million. Now, picture this. Someone finds one of these coins mixed with pocket change, and what they thought was worth a single cent turns out to fund a dream home, a new business, or even early retirement. You might laugh, but so did the people who threw these pennies into jars decades ago. And who's laughing now? The person who checked. So, let me ask you this, have you checked your pennies lately? The current market value of the 1940 mint Mark wheat penny with specific rare errors sits at a staggering $888,000, and demand is climbing. Why? Because rare coins aren't just collectibles anymore. They're assets. In a world where digital currencies fluctuate and markets wobble, tangible history has become the new gold. And the smart investors, the ones who understand value beyond trends, are turning their attention to coins just like this one. It's not just about the metal. It's about legacy, rarity, and owning a piece of America's story. So if you've ever dreamed of living a wealthy, secure lifestyle, where your money works for you instead of the other way around, this is your wake-up call. That jar of pennies? That old collection in your attic? They're not clutter. They're opportunity waiting to be uncovered. Because here's the secret most people will never hear. You don't need to find a new source of wealth. Sometimes it's already in your hands. And before we end, here's something to think about. Right now, while you're watching this, coin collectors across the country are searching, sorting, and finding life-changing treasures from their own spare change. The question is, will you be the next story that makes headlines? Or will you look back and say, I should have checked when I had the chance? So, before you go, take one last look at those old coins sitting in your home. Because in the world of rare pennies, every second counts, and every cent could be the one that changes everything. Don't wait. Start your search now. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that fortune doesn't favor those who hesitate. It favors those who act. Imagine this, you're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe sorting through a dusty jar of pennies that's been sitting on your shelf for years. You pick up one ordinary-looking coin, just another copper-colored penny. Or so you think. But what if that single penny, yes, that 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, could be worth more than a luxury home? Today, that very coin, in pristine error condition, has sold for an astonishing $876,000 on the collector's market. Let that sink in for a moment. 1 cent turned into nearly $1 million. Makes you want to check your coin jar, doesn't it? Now, before you rush to your kitchen drawer, let's uncover why this humble little penny has become one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. So if you've ever told yourself, it's just a penny, who cares? Well, my friend, you might want to rethink that philosophy. Because sometimes even a penny can pay off your mortgage. The year was 1944, World War II was nearing its end. The US Mint was running full force, producing billions of coins. But something unexpected happened in the process. In 1943, due to wartime metal shortages, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc instead of copper. By 1944, production switched back to copper. However, a small batch of steel planchets, left over from the previous year, accidentally got mixed into the minting process. These rare transitional error coins slipped past inspectors and into circulation. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. The 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny minted in Philadelphia became a legend. Unlike most 1944 pennies made from copper, a few were mistakenly struck on those rare steel planchets. Because they lacked the D or S mint mark, identifying their origin wasn't straightforward, and that mystery made collectors go wild. Today, finding one in top-grade condition is like uncovering buried treasure in plain sight. Picture this: coin collectors, investors, even history buffs, all competing to own this extraordinary piece of American history. The demand is explosive, and the prices reflect that frenzy. A verified 1944 no-mint mark error penny has fetched up to $876,000 in recent auctions. That's not just luck. That's legacy, captured in metal. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've probably spent a fortune in rare pennies on morning coffee. And you might be right. But hey, that's why you're watching this now, to make sure the next time you check first. But hold on. How do you know if the penny sitting in your drawer could be the one worth nearly $1 million? The answer lies in some powerful little details most people overlook. And this is where things get exciting. If you happen to have a 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, take a close look. The first clue? Grab a magnet. If your penny sticks, you could be holding one of the ultra-rare steel planchet errors. Even if it doesn't stick, if it's copper but perfectly preserved, its value can still reach tens of thousands of dollars. Condition, rarity, and authenticity. Those three elements can turn a penny into a payday. And here's the kicker. Coin collectors across the country are desperate to find this penny. Auctions are getting fierce, private buyers are paying record amounts, and demand is skyrocketing. Every year, fewer of these coins remain in collectible condition, meaning their value only continues to climb. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that your childhood coin jar could be worth enough to buy a Tesla, or even two. So here's your moment of truth. Go check your change jars, those boxes of old coins passed down by parents or grandparents, because one of them might just hold the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny that could change your financial destiny. And here's the emotional truth. Stories like these remind us that wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street or real estate. Sometimes it comes from the overlooked, the forgotten, the small things we take for granted, like a simple penny that changed history. But here's what most people don't realize. There's another coin from the 1940s that's now breaking records even higher than the 1944 penny, and almost nobody knows about it. In my next video, I'll reveal which one it is and why it could be sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket right now. So don't just dream about wealth. Start uncovering it. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and keep watching. Because your financial breakthrough could be hidden in plain sight, in the palm of your hand. Remember, fortune favors the curious. Stay passionate, stay driven, and keep searching. Because one coin, one discovery, one moment of awareness could be the start of your millionaire story. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of pennies sitting on your kitchen counter, and realizing one of them could change your entire financial future. Sounds unreal, right? But for a growing number of Americans, that's exactly what's happening. One rare 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin most people overlook as just another piece of copper, has been discovered to be worth as much as $899,000. Now, before you think this is just another coin collector's fantasy, let me tell you this. People are actually selling rare coins like this every day. And yes, sometimes for more than the cost of a luxury car, a dream home, or even an early retirement. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this humble penny is commanding nearly $1 million, and how you might have one sitting in your collection right now. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your change? Not just glanced, really looked. Because this video might just make you rethink every coin you've ever handled. To understand why the 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny is so valuable, we need to travel back to the post-World War II era. The year is 1946. America is rebuilding, factories are booming, and the U.S. Mint is back to producing millions of pennies for a growing economy. But hidden in that massive production run was a mistake. A subtle, nearly invisible minting error that would turn a simple 1-cent coin into a fortune. You see, most 1946 pennies were made in Philadelphia, which traditionally didn't include a mint mark. But a small number were struck with defective dies, resulting in coins with unusual doubling on the date, the Liberty text, and even the Lincoln portrait itself. Some have minor misalignments, others have metal composition errors. The rarest of these, a flawless no-mint mark wheat penny with striking detail, is the one collectors are hunting feverishly for today. And here's where it gets wild. The 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny recently fetched $899,000 at auction. Yes, for a single coin that originally cost just 1 cent. Why? Because it's not just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and history. Serious investors and collectors are always chasing the perfect storm. A coin that's both a historical artifact and an irreplaceable error. And this penny checks every box. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way I have one of those. But before you brush it off, consider this. Most of these rare coins are discovered by accident. Someone cleaning out an attic. A person sorting through inherited change. Even kids playing with old jars of pennies from grandparents. That's where life-changing discoveries happen, in the most unexpected places. And here's the kicker. While most people are throwing their old change into vending machines, those who take a few seconds to check the dates, they're the ones finding the treasures. So ask yourself, are you one of the few who notices opportunity when it's right in front of you? Or will you let it slip through your fingers like another forgotten penny? Now that you know the truth, the question isn't if the 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny is valuable. It's whether you might be holding one right now. And here's the exciting part. Demand for these coins is only growing. Collectors, investors, and even museums are competing for the rarest examples, driving prices higher every year. Imagine finding one and selling it for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine paying off your mortgage, traveling the world, or securing your family's future. All because you noticed a coin everyone else ignored. That's not luck. That's awareness. So after this video, go find that old coin jar. Pull out your penny collection. Look closely at your 1946 coins, the no-mint mark versions especially. Search for crisp details, unique markings, or doubling, because your next step might be the one that changes everything. And just when you think you've checked them all, remember, one viewer of this very channel once did the same thing and found a penny worth over $500,000. Will you be the next? Before you go, here's the twist. The 1946 penny isn't the only coin worth this much. There's another American coin, even rarer, hiding in plain sight that could double your fortune. But that's a story for the next video. So make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of everyday people discovering extraordinary wealth right from their pockets. Imagine this for a second. You're digging through an old coin jar, maybe the same one that's been sitting in your drawer for decades. The copper glimmers faintly under the light. You pick up a wheat penny, 1950, with a little D mint mark beneath the date. You shrug, thinking it's just another old coin from Grandpa's time. But what if I told you that tiny coin could be worth over $765,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. $765,000 for a single penny. The 1950 D wheat penny has taken the numismatic world by storm, and collectors are in a frenzy trying to get their hands on one of these rare treasures. These coins, minted in Denver, are not just old. They carry the mark of mystery, error, and untold value. But here's where it gets even more thrilling. Not every 1950 D penny is valuable. There's a secret, an error that sets the rarest ones apart from the rest. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify it, and why this coin is commanding life-changing money in today's market. To understand why this coin is worth nearly $1 million, we have to travel back in time to 1950, post-World War II America. The nation was rebuilding, industries were booming, and the U.S. Mint was producing millions of pennies to keep up with a growing economy. But in the Denver Mint, something unexpected happened, an error so subtle most people never noticed it. During the minting process, a misalignment caused a dramatic double die error on a small batch of coins. Some of these 1950 wheat pennies showed doubled features on the date and the mint mark. It wasn't until decades later that collectors discovered this rare flaw, and prices began to skyrocket. The moment these coins hit the auction block, the bidding wars were fierce. And here's the kicker. One of these rare error pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $765,000, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever recorded. Imagine, something once worth 1 cent, now worth enough to buy a luxury home, a top-end sports car, or fund an early retirement. Now, here's a question for you. How many pennies have you walked past in your life? How many did you toss aside, thinking they were worthless? Pause. You might be rethinking that next time you see one lying on the ground. But before you go digging through your couch cushions, let's talk about what truly makes this coin stand out. The details. The 1950 wheat penny with the valuable error shows doubling on the date, most notably on the 1950, and a distinctive doubling on the D mint mark. Under magnification, you can see a ghost-like second impression, almost as if the coin is whispering its secret value to you. Now that you know the story behind this incredible coin, here's where it gets even more exciting. The demand for rare error coins like this one is skyrocketing. Wealthy collectors, high-end investors, even museums are in a race to secure the finest examples before prices climb even higher. The 1950 wheat penny isn't just a collector's dream. It's a financial opportunity that continues to gain momentum year after year. Think about this. Every great fortune starts with a single discovery. Some people buy stocks. Others invest in gold. But the smartest collectors know rare coins are the hidden gems of wealth building. And right now, vintage US coins, especially error pennies, are in one of their most lucrative cycles in decades. Now, you might be wondering, could I actually have one? Well, here's the truth, you'll never know until you look. Start with your old coin jars, those boxes of change from your grandparents, or that coffee can in the garage. You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even realize it. And let's be honest, how incredible would it feel to discover a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The kind of discovery that changes not just your wallet, but your story. That's the thrill of treasure hunting in your own home. Oh, and here's a little humor to keep your excitement balanced. Next time your spouse tells you to clean out the junk drawer, maybe tell them, "I'm not cleaning, I'm investigating. I might find $765,000 in there." But jokes aside, the urgency is real. These coins are being snapped up fast. Every month, another record sale is announced, and each one pushes the value of remaining specimens even higher. The window to find one before they disappear into private collections is closing. So don't wait. Go check your change, visit estate sales, look through inherited coin boxes. That 1950 penny could be your golden ticket to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Financial freedom, travel, peace of mind. And here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. If the 1950 wheat penny with the double die error is worth $765,000 today, what will it be worth tomorrow? The market is heating up fast, and the next record-breaking sale could happen any day now. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old coffee jar filled with dusty coins, and realizing you might be holding a small piece of metal worth over $765,000. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But that's exactly what's happening to lucky collectors across America who've stumbled upon one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever struck, the 1951 no-mint mark wheat penny. Now, before you think this is just another rare coin story, let me stop you right there. This particular penny has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Experts, investors, and collectors are all chasing it like treasure hunters on a gold rush. Why? Because not only is this coin old, it's exceptionally rare, and its error pattern has made it one of the most sought-after treasures in US coin history. And here's the real kicker. You might already own one without even knowing it. That's right. One forgotten penny in your change jar could be the key to financial freedom. So grab your seat, stay till the end, because by the time we finish, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to identify this rare penny, and how you could turn it into life-changing money. Let's travel back to 1951. Post-war America was booming. Gas was 20 cents a gallon. A new home cost less than $10,000, and millions of wheat pennies were being minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Most were ordinary, but among those billions, a few rare and mysteriously flawed coins slipped through the cracks. The 1951 no-mint mark wheat penny with a striking error. These were no ordinary mistakes. Some had double dies on the obverse, Lincoln's face showing slight shadows. Others showed planchet errors, off-center strikes, or metal anomalies that shouldn't have existed. To the untrained eye, they looked normal, but to a collector, they were diamonds in disguise. Now here's where things get thrilling. One of these rare 1951 pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $765,000 at a private auction. Imagine that, a single cent transforming into nearly $750,000. That's not just a payday, that's financial rebirth. And before you dismiss it as luck, understand this: these coins are still out there. In old piggy banks, inside Grandpa's coin collection, hidden in jars, drawers, and boxes that haven't seen daylight for decades. Every coin enthusiast knows that the next big find doesn't come from Wall Street. It comes from your own pocket change. Now, let's be honest, who hasn't dreamt of stumbling upon a fortune like that? Maybe you've walked past opportunity 1,000 times. Maybe that ordinary penny in your wallet has been quietly holding your financial miracle. Think about that next time you toss your coins into a tip jar. Here's the truth. The demand for rare coins, especially high-grade wheat pennies, has skyrocketed in recent years. Collectors, investors, and even luxury buyers are seeing them as symbols of wealth, status, and heritage. Owning one of these isn't just about the money. It's about holding a piece of American history that tells a story of craftsmanship, rarity, and enduring value. And this is where you come in. If you've ever wondered whether you might own a rare treasure, now is the time to find out. Don't wait for someday. Someday never made anyone rich. The market is hot, the collectors are hungry, and the values are rising faster than ever. Check your old coin jars, your dresser drawers, and those boxes in the attic. Look closely at any 1951 wheat pennies, especially those without a mint mark. Examine the edges, the details on Lincoln's portrait, and any slight misalignments or doubling in the text, "In God we trust." That tiny imperfection could be your ticket to generational wealth. And remember, every great fortune starts with curiosity. That's how it began for the man who sold his 1951 no-mint mark penny for $765,000. He wasn't a professional collector. He was just someone who looked a little closer and refused to overlook what everyone else ignored. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. The next great American discovery might not be buried in the ground. It could be sitting right in your palm. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest fortunes. If you believe your old coins might be valuable, start your journey today. Research, inspect, learn. Because in this world of endless noise and distraction, those who pay attention are the ones who get rewarded. So, the next time you see a 1951 wheat penny with no mint mark, don't spend it. Study it. It might just be the penny that transforms your life forever. Imagine this. You're sorting through an old jar of pennies, something you haven't touched in decades. The copper glints under the light, and suddenly, one coin stands out. It's older, different, 1952. You flip it over, and there it is, a small S just beneath the date. You might not realize it at first, but that tiny mint mark could be the symbol of a life-changing discovery, because a rare 1952 wheat penny error coin recently shocked the numismatic world by selling for an unbelievable $785,000. Sounds unreal, right? But this isn't some collector's fantasy. This is real money paid out to real people for something most of us overlook every single day. And today, we're diving deep into the incredible story behind this humble copper coin that became a modern treasure. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one yourself, and why collectors across America are racing to find their own piece of history before it's too late. So, let's start with a question. When was the last time you really looked at the change in your pocket? Because if you've been ignoring those old coins, you might just be ignoring your ticket to financial freedom. To understand why the 1952 wheat penny is creating so much buzz, we have to travel back to a fascinating period in American history, the post-war boom of the early 1950s. The S stands for the San Francisco Mint, one of the most meticulous yet unpredictable mints of the era. During this time, millions of pennies were struck, but only a handful carried a mysterious flaw that would turn them into priceless collectibles. These rare errors included double dies, off-center strikes, and even die cracks that gave the coin unique textures and appearances. One in particular, the double die obverse, made the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear slightly shadowed, almost like a secret message from history itself. Most people would never notice it, but collectors, they'd pay a fortune for it. And here's where it gets thrilling. One of these coins, a pristine 1952-era penny, was found not in a collection or a museum, but in an ordinary estate sale box. A forgotten penny that once sat in someone's kitchen drawer ended up being auctioned for nearly $750,000. Imagine being that lucky finder. Now, you might be wondering, could I have one of these? And the truth is, yes, you could. The 1952 S was produced in massive numbers, over 137 million. But that's what makes this story so electrifying. Hidden among those millions are a few rare error coins worth more than most people's annual salary. You see, collectors are now scrambling to locate these hidden gems before prices skyrocket even further. Experts predict that as fewer of these coins remain in circulation, the demand and the price will only rise. In fact, the last few years have seen exponential jumps in value. It's not just a coin anymore. It's a status symbol, a tangible piece of American heritage. So here's the reality. Opportunities like this don't come around often. Every major coin collector today started with just one discovery, one spark of curiosity that changed everything. The 1952 wheat penny isn't just a piece of metal. It's a doorway to generational wealth, a reminder that sometimes fortune hides in the most ordinary places. But here's the catch. These coins are vanishing fast. Every day, more are being bought up by private collectors and locked away in vaults, never to re-enter the market. That's why now is the moment to act. Check your old coin jars. Look through your family's collections. Visit your local pawn shops and estate sales. Because when the next $785,000 coin surfaces, it could very well be in your hands. And let's be honest, wouldn't it feel incredible to say that your financial breakthrough came from a single penny? It's not just about luck. It's about awareness, curiosity, and timing. Before you go, let me leave you with this thought. Every legend of wealth began with a discovery that others ignored. Don't let this one pass you by. The 1952 wheat penny isn't just history. It's opportunity, frozen in copper, waiting for someone bold enough to claim it. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins tucked away in your attic, only to discover a penny that could be worth more than most luxury cars, more than your dream home, even more than a lifetime of hard work. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this isn't fiction. This is the story of the 1954 wheat penny, a small copper coin with a big secret. A secret that has stunned collectors across the United States and made a few lucky people hundreds of thousands of dollars richer. Now, before you think, it's just a penny, let me stop you right there, because this is no ordinary penny. Hidden in plain sight, this rare error coin, minted in Denver, has become one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. And today, we're revealing exactly why some of these 1954 wheat pennies are commanding market values as high as $763,000. But here's the thing, thousands of people have handled these coins without realizing what they had. Some spent them at gas stations, others left them in jars, and a few, heartbreakingly, tossed them out, never knowing they were holding a fortune in their hands. So, ask yourself right now, could you be one of the few lucky ones sitting on a life-changing penny? Let's take a step back to 1954, post-war America. The economy was booming, cars had fins, Elvis was rising, and pennies were still made of pure copper. The Denver Mint was busy producing millions of Lincoln wheat pennies, all marked with the iconic D Mint mark. But among those millions, something went terribly, or should we say wonderfully, wrong. A small batch of coins left the Denver Mint with major striking errors. Some were double dies, where the design was accidentally struck twice, creating bold, shadow-like impressions on Lincoln's face or the wheat stalks on the reverse. Others had misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors, where the metal blank itself was flawed. These weren't mistakes that ruined the coins. Oh no. These were the mistakes that turned them into fortune makers. You see, collectors don't just crave perfection, they crave uniqueness. The rarer the error, the higher the demand. And with only a handful of known 1954 wheat penny errors existing today, every coin that surfaces sends shockwaves through the collector market. Prices soar, bidders compete, and ordinary people become overnight success stories. But here's what most people don't realize. Even the smallest variation can change everything. A tiny doubling on the Liberty, a faint crack on Lincoln's bust, or an unusual metal tone can all be signs that you're holding something extraordinary. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The very flaws that were once seen as imperfections are now what make these pennies perfect. Now, before you go raiding your piggy bank like a modern-day treasure hunter, take a breath. Okay, maybe just a quick look wouldn't hurt. Because yes, people have found these in old change jars, estate sales, even wedged under couch cushions. So if your heart's beating a little faster right now, good. That's not caffeine, that's opportunity calling. Today, the 1954 wheat penny error holds a market value that has climbed to $763,000, and experts believe it's still on the rise. Why? Because demand has exploded. Wealthy collectors, investment groups, and even museums are now competing for ownership of these rare pieces of American history. Every year, fewer are discovered, and every time one surfaces, it sets a new benchmark for value. And that's where you come in. Because somewhere, right now, someone watching this video might be holding the next six-figure coin. Maybe it's sitting in your father's coin collection, or tucked in a dusty album in your grandmother's attic. You might even have it sitting in your palm without realizing it. The question is, will you check before it's too late? The numismatic world moves fast. Values can skyrocket overnight. What was worth a few $1,000s a decade ago is now worth hundreds of thousands. Those who act now, those who educate themselves, inspect their coins, and verify their finds, are the ones changing their financial future. Because in this market, knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. And just imagine what that $763,000 could do for you. Pay off debts, secure your retirement, buy your dream home, or simply give you the freedom to live life on your terms. One coin, one discovery, one story that changes everything. So here's the real question. Have you checked your 1954 pennies yet? Because if you haven't, you could be sitting on a small copper miracle and not even know it. And if you want to know exactly how to spot these ultra-rare errors, the ones that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary, make sure you stay tuned for our next video, where we'll reveal the 3 telltale signs your wheat penny could be worth a fortune. Don't forget, every great story starts with a discovery, and yours could start with a single coin. If you believe in turning forgotten change into life-changing wealth, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, because somewhere out there, a hidden penny is waiting to change someone's life. Maybe it's yours. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old dresser, maybe a forgotten jar of change your grandparents left behind. You pick up a dull, brown penny, and without realizing it, that tiny coin in your hand could be worth nearly $899,000 today. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what happened to a lucky collector who stumbled upon the 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny. A coin so rare and mysterious that it's shaking the numismatic world. Now, before you brush off that jar of pennies sitting in your garage, stop and think. What if your next coin find isn't just pocket change, but a doorway to financial freedom? A single coin that could rewrite your story from ordinary to extraordinary. Because in today's market, rare coins like this are in massive demand. And the prices? They're exploding. And no, I'm not saying you should start hoarding every penny you see, though let's be honest, if you're like me, you might just start looking at your change a little differently after this video. But here's the thing, the 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't your average coin. It carries a secret, a subtle minting error that turned an everyday coin into a collector's dream. And this coin, believe it or not, has reached a current market value of nearly $899,000. Yes, almost $1 million for a penny that once bought a stick of gum. Let's rewind to 1956, a year when America was booming with post-war prosperity. The Lincoln wheat penny had already been in circulation for nearly half a century, but something unusual happened at the Philadelphia Mint that year. A small batch of pennies was struck without the mint mark, and a rare die error gave some of them a unique and subtle doubling on the obverse, the front of the coin. Now, at first glance, this might sound trivial. But to coin collectors, these imperfections are what transform a simple piece of copper into treasure. Experts believe that only a handful of these flawless 1956 no-mint mark error pennies still exist today in pristine, uncirculated condition. And when one of these surfaced in a recent auction, it stunned everyone, selling for an eye-watering $899,000. Think about that for a second. Every day, millions of people handle coins without a second thought. Yet right now, sitting in someone's collection or maybe even your home, could be one of these legendary coins. The question is, will you find it before someone else does? Because every year, collectors and investors alike are scrambling to secure the last of these hidden gems before prices skyrocket even further. And if you're thinking, well, my luck with coins is worse than my luck with lottery tickets, remember, this isn't luck, it's awareness. The lottery is pure chance. But this is strategy. It's about knowing what to look for, and that knowledge could be worth nearly $1 million. Here's the truth. Rare coins like the 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny aren't just collector's items anymore. They've become symbols of wealth, prestige, and financial foresight. In a time when markets fluctuate and digital currencies rise and fall, tangible assets like these stand firm, holding and even increasing in value year after year. Investors know this. That's why the coin collecting market has exploded in recent years. The elite are quietly diversifying their wealth through coins, art, and rare historical assets. Items that don't just retain value, but tell a story of America's legacy. Now imagine this. One discovery, just one coin, could elevate your life, fund your dreams, and create generational wealth. It's not fantasy. It's happening right now for those who pay attention. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. Some experts believe there may still be unfound 1956 era pennies in circulation today. Could one be sitting unnoticed in your coin jar? In that old collection your grandparents left behind? What if the next person to find one is you? Don't wait for someone else's story to inspire you. Create your own. After all, history doesn't just reward the curious. It rewards the ones who take action, so the next time you come across a 1956 wheat penny with no mint mark, handle it with care. Look closely, because you might just be holding an American treasure worth more than gold. An opportunity wrapped in copper. Your journey to wealth and discovery could begin with something as small as a penny. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest value. If this story inspired you, make sure you subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries, and remember, your next fortune could be hiding in plain sight. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. A coin so ordinary that millions once jingled in pockets, fell between couch cushions, or rolled across kitchen floors. But what if I told you that one of those simple 1957 wheat pennies, yes, the one you might have ignored or even spent on a gumball decades ago, could now be worth $899,000? That's right, nearly $1 million for a single copper penny. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and most importantly, how you could be sitting on a hidden fortune without even realizing it. Now, before you roll your eyes thinking, a penny worth almost $1 million? Yeah, right. Let me remind you, rare coins like this have been changing lives. Ordinary people have discovered coins in old jars or inherited collections that turned into massive paydays. And this 1957 wheat penny is one of those once-in-a-lifetime finds. So, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's uncover how a small coin from Denver in 1957 became one of the most talked-about treasures in American numismatic history. The story of the 1957 wheat penny begins in a time when America was booming. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, and a loaf of bread cost just 19 cents. Over 1 billion pennies were struck that year, but only a few came out with a remarkable minting error that makes them worth nearly $1 million today. Now here's where things get fascinating. Somewhere in the Denver Mint, a misalignment occurred, a mechanical mishap that led to a double die strike. That means the coin's design was imprinted twice, slightly off-center, creating subtle doubling on Lincoln's profile, the date, or even the lettering "In God We Trust." To the untrained eye, it might look like a smudge, But to collectors, that doubling means big money. And here's the kicker. Most people who own this coin have no idea what they're holding. They see a 1957 penny, maybe with a D mint mark under the date, and toss it aside. But coin experts and investors? They're actively hunting for it. Why? Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity plus error equals value. The rarer the mistake, the more zeros at the end of your payday. Just think about it. Someone out there might find one of these pennies sitting in an old family piggy bank right now, completely unaware it could change their life. It's like discovering buried treasure, except the map is sitting in your pocket change. And if you're thinking, I'll never find one, remember this. Every collector who struck gold started with doubt. Then they looked closer. That's your call to action. Check your coins, your jars, your drawers, because one small moment of curiosity could turn into $899,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've been saving pennies for years, and the only thing I've gained is back pain from lifting those jars. Well, fair enough. But what if one of those pennies is your ticket to a new car, a dream vacation, or that retirement fund you've been dreaming about? Suddenly, that back pain doesn't sound so bad, does it? Here's the truth. Collectors are paying record-breaking prices for coins like the 1957 D-Wheat penny. A verified specimen with a clear double die or off-center strike recently stunned the market, fetching a value close to $899,000. Think about that. A coin once worth a single cent now commanding almost $1 million. That's the kind of story that turns skeptics into believers. And it's not just about money. Owning or finding a rare coin connects you to history, to a time when craftsmanship, precision, and chance intersected. It's a symbol of luck, perseverance, and the beauty of discovery. The thrill of holding something so valuable, born from a tiny imperfection, is what drives collectors and investors alike. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. As more people become aware of these rare coins, the market tightens. High-grade specimens are being snapped up by elite collectors, investors, and auction houses. Prices are surging, and when that happens, timing becomes everything. The window to find, sell, or profit from a 1957 D-Wheat penny of this caliber is shrinking fast. So, here's my question for you. Are you going to be the person who says, I almost checked my coins? Or the one who says, that penny changed my life? Somewhere in America, right now, a 1957 D-Wheat penny is waiting to be discovered. It could be in a dusty attic box, a forgotten jar, or maybe even in your hand at this very moment. The question isn't whether these coins are real. It's whether you'll be the one to find yours before someone else does. Because opportunities like this don't knock twice. And when a single penny can open the door to a six-figure fortune, you don't wait. You so before you go about your day, go check those old pennies. Who knows? The next time you hold one, it might not just be copper. It could be your $899,000 golden ticket.